Good evening. My name is Tim Briner, and I'm the lead co-principal of Waukegan High School. I would like to welcome you to the 146th commencement exercise. We ask that you please stand for the presentation of our colors. I now ask Ms. Monica Payne, Waukegan High School JROTC Cadet Regimental Commander, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Will you please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Terry Herbo. I'm the co-principal of the Waukegan High School. I would now like to ask our guest on the platform to take a seat this time. I am the co-principal of Waukegan High School. I'd like to now ask our senior class president, Denise Martinez, to come to the podium for welcoming remarks. Denise Martinez. Also, at this time, I would like to call all senior choir members to the risers.
Could you all please sit? Good evening, everyone. We are gathered here tonight to celebrate the graduation ceremony of the class of 2019. I am Denise Martinez, this year's senior class president, and I am honored to have the opportunity to welcome you all today. The first thing I want to focus on is to tell you one of the most important things I've learned in life that wasn't taught to me at school, but through a story my mother always told my sisters and I. It's a story that my family has been passing down for generations, and my mother always reminds us of this. She said that no matter what bees do, they are not supposed to be able to fly. Their wings are not built to sustain their bodies, as they are a little fat. She told me the bees would always try to fly, but they still couldn't. They had finally convinced themselves they would never be able to fly, so they gave up. As God was watching them the whole time, he noticed they gave up and he didn't like it. Then one day, God whispered into their ears saying, "I believe you can fly." So later on, the bees were able to fly. My mother passed this story to us because she never wanted us to feel discouraged. I'm now passing this story to you to tell you to always believe in yourself, to be that voice, or if you can't, find that little voice that tells you that you can. I'm here today to tell you a bit of what my high school experience has helped me realize in life. As a freshman, I would have never thought that I would be up here presenting the opening speech at graduation. I was a shy, nervous, and timid kid when I came in. Over the past 4 years of being here, I've learned and progressed in not only my academics, but in my personal life. I'm not that same kid anymore. I've grown and developed my confidence. I remember at the beginning of my senior year, I almost held back on filling out my application for class president because I wanted to avoid this address. Without my confidence, I wouldn't be able to be up here on the stage to speak to all of you. I realize it's okay to feel challenged and ask for help when needed. I can't lie, I could be a little stubborn sometimes, and I like to do things on my own. It's okay to sometimes say, I have no idea what I'm doing, because do any of us know what we're actually doing? We're all playing this game of life, trying to get by, day by day not knowing what to expect. Every little decision you made is what got you here, to graduation day. Whether it was staying 1 extra hour to study, joining a new club, or challenging yourself to take an extra AP class. And to end my speech, I wish all of you good luck for the years coming in our lives. Don't ever be ashamed of being part of the Waukegan community, as you are way better than they say you are. Be your own voice. Thank you to all of my teachers, and most importantly, thank you to my family and my friends. And I wanted to take a little moment to say thank you to my parents. Yo quiero agradecerle todo a mi mamá y mi papá. Yo los amo mucho y yo no sería la persona que soy hoy sin ustedes. Yo sé que a veces soy un poco terca, pero a veces no sé lo que estoy haciendo. Y les juro que un día se los voy a recompensar. And to thank the best person for last. For those that don't know, I attended CRSM High School my freshman year, along with my twin sister, Paola. I transferred to Waukegan High School my sophomore year, and my twin stayed at St. Martin. She's currently having her graduation ceremony as I speak. And I want to make a huge shout out to my twin sister, Paola, that is graduating today, top of her class, and is this year's valedictorian at Cristo Rey. I've never met someone as hardworking as her. She's my role model, and I just want to tell her that I'm really sad that I'm missing your speech right now. But I swear I am screaming and rooting for you at the top of my lungs, and I love you so much. Once again, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to witness this year's graduation ceremony.
Thank you, Denise. I would now ask Senior Vice President Damari Williams to come to the podium to introduce the platform guest.
Good evening to all who have gathered here to witness the commencement of the exercise of the graduating class of 2019. My name is Damari Williams, and I am the Senior Class Vice President. It is an honor to see all the faces of our families, friends, faculty, staff, and distinguished members of the Waukegan Public Schools Administration. Thank you all for being here today. It is my honor to introduce the distinguished people on the platform behind us today. Ms. Teresa Plasencia, Superintendent of Schools. Mr. Brandon Ewing, President of the Board of Education. Mr. R. Michael Rodriguez, Vice President of the Board of Education. Ms. Anita Hanna, Board of Education member. Mr. Richard Riddle, Board of Education member. Ms. Charlotte Calian Wozniak, Board of Education member. Mr. Jeff McBride, Board of Education member. Ms. Lucy Leguzamo, Board of Education member. Mr. Austin Cantu, Student Board member. Ms. Catherine Vonderbrook, Deputy Legal Counsel. Mr. Nicholas Alajakis, Director of Communications, Chief of Staff. Ms. Shani Keelan, Area Superintendent of School Support, Collaborative 1. Ms. Amanda Patty, Area Superintendent of School Support, Collaborative 2. Mr. Jason Knott, Dr. Jason Knott, Associate Superintendent of Equity, Innovation, and Accountability. Ms. Gwendolyn Polk, Associate Superintendent of Business and Financial Services. Dr. Josue Cuevas, Associate Superintendent of Information Technology Services. Mr. Tim Briner, Lead Co-Principal, Waukegan High School. Dr. Terry Ihirbo, Co-Principal, Waukegan High School. Mr. Kevin Turner, Alternative Optional Education Center Principal. We thank you all for your involvement in our educational career in the Waukegan Public Schools. And we thank you for being here today as we celebrate one of the great milestones of our lives. You are appreciated. Thank you. And congratulations to the 2019 graduating class. .
Thank you very much, Damari Williams. I would now like to introduce our senior choir members as they sing the final musical selection with varsity choir entitled Roots Before Branches.
Thank you, senior choir members. You may now proceed back to your seats. It is my distinct honor to present to you our 2019 valedictorian, Mr. Eric Bravo, who will present his speech entitled 88,000.
Good evening, and thank you for coming to celebrate the graduation of the 2019 seniors. It is my belief that today's graduation ceremony is not simply about celebrating ourselves and our individual forthcoming futures. It is about celebrating our community and the future of our community as a whole. I cannot speak to any of your experiences, and I cannot offer you all any piece of advice that you have not heard already. Therefore, I will speak about a belief personal to me, but one that I hope you will at least leave you all something to reflect on. I was born and raised in Waukegan. The town that I grew up in shaped me into the person that I am today, and no doubt many, many of you. It is the only world I have ever truly known so far. In elementary and middle school, I was oblivious to what it actually meant to live here. I knew my mom told me to be careful walking down the streets, wary of strangers and bad people. But I never realized that to many, that meant the streets were unsafe. I thought every kid had to hear that safety spiel from their mothers. Until the day when I stepped out of Waukegan, I did not understand how uncommon it is to see so many Black and Hispanic people living in one town. Until I visited some summer college programs in Vermont and North Carolina, I did not realize how ridiculously wealthy some people are. I've met international kids who could blow a few $1,000s with little thought, and others who were still in high school, and yet they spent a month of it studying in Mexico and another month in Antarctica. It is likely everyone in this field has strong beliefs about Waukegan and what it means to them. My closest friends talk down on it sometimes. But we all live here, and we can do that. We know about the shortcomings of the town. Our critique of it is, deep down, a passion for it, and wanting to ask much more of it. However, when I made it to 6th grade, I heard my classmates talk about Waukegan in ways I never had before. They called my town the ghetto. To be honest, I'm guilty of once having called it that too. The problem I have with this word is that it shapes people's beliefs of our community from a critique into an unproductive shot. People forget that we're surrounded by the pure affluence of towns like Lake Forest and Highland Park. Towns like that aren't common, but that's the kind of skewed lens we view Waukegan from. As inhabitants of Waukegan, some of us can forget the unique experience our town offers. The love for Waukegan is there though, and despite the perception many have of the town, we are nonetheless achieving great things. I'm sure many of you felt the energy and passion people have for Waukegan when the boys' basketball team was competing for state and the dog pound was packed with a crowd ready to cheer on their team. Our drill team went to go compete in nationals. Our girls' powerlifting team won state. Almost 500 of us are on our way to continue our education. Others of us are on our way to serve in the military. Waukegan's downtown area has been revitalized thanks to events like Art Walk. People are engaged with what's going on in the community. Who could forget that there's 6,000 of us here celebrating our class's accomplishments over the past 4 years. Many times, when people leave home and go to unfamiliar places, the first thing people ask to kick off a conversation is, "Where are you from?" And many of us default to saying we're from Chicago. I don't know what it's like to live in Chicago. I'm from Waukegan, and that's what I'll tell anyone who asks. That's where my friends and family live, and that's where I grew up. That's where 88,000 of us impacted each other in thousands of small, large, and unexplainable ways. I, for one, am proud to be from Waukegan, and I hope you are too. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bravo. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present our 2019 salutatorian, Mr. Ethan Ashworth. Mr. Ashworth's speech is entitled Solo.
Good evening, Waukeganites, parents, family, and friends. Thank you to you, Ms. Placencia, for being here at your 3rd WHS graduation, and to all of the board members for coming out today. Congratulations, class of 2019. We made it. I'd like to speak briefly about just 3 things today: the way that we invest in other people, the way that we respond to others investing in us, and what life might look like when we're committed to positively executing those first 2 ideas. Graduation speeches are full of cliches, so I'll skip straight to my first one, a meaningful quote. But I'd like to change it up a bit and quote someone you've probably never heard of, Nelson Henderson, a Canadian farmer. I appreciate quotes from people like him. They don't become popular because of the person that authored them, but because of the truth of their words. He said, "The true meaning of life is to plant trees under whose shade you do not expect to sit." For him, these words had literal meaning, as he planted trees 50 years ago that his grandchildren now enjoy. For us, it means giving joyfully of our time, energy, resources, and hearts without any expectation of recognition. While that alone can be a daunting prospect, equally as difficult is gratefully receiving such things ourselves. Humbly receiving gifts, praise, love, and care can be just as hard as giving it. Waukegan High School is filled with teachers, counselors, and coaches that are willing to go above and beyond for each one of us to help us succeed in the areas we struggle in, whether academically, emotionally, athletically. Wherever we're off to next will be filled with equally supportive and inspiring people. But in order to take most advantage of their knowledge and support, we will have to be willing to let them come alongside us to recognize that they possess something we need and to put in the effort to receive what they have to offer us. To tie this together, I want to leave you all with just one last consideration. We have been taught since we were very young that we should build our list of talents, accomplishments, achievements, and recognitions. I want to challenge us, however, to view life as more than just one great solo, a giant competition to see who comes out on top, but in the wise words of Stephen Colbert, to instead try to love and serve others, and hopefully find those who love and serve you in return. Class of 2019, as we go from this place today, on to the military, the workforce, colleges, universities, and trade schools, to build businesses, homes, and families, know that there is one lifelong solo that you get to play, and that is the act of being yourself. I read an amazing blog the other day, and at the end of a post, the writer asked, if the point of life is to leave the world a better place than we found it, have we? So to us all, as we move on to new places, I want you to remember what my mom has told me every morning. The world needs you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ethan. I would like to introduce Senior Class Representative Holly Rosales to the podium to present her presentation there and back again. I would also like to ask senior band members to take their place within the band.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the class of 2019, I'd like to thank you all for coming out today. Family, friends, staff, and most importantly, the students. Well, seniors, we did that. We're finally here. We waited a total of 4 years to walk this stage. Being in theater myself, if there's one thing I learned about stages, is that life's a stage. And us being its stars of the show, we stand in front of an audience, though unrehearsed. 4 years ago, graduating seemed like some distant dream. But now here we are, the curtain's drawn, and suddenly we're on. Seemed like yesterday, first day of school, entered our first class after a confusing session of running around the formidable and unknown hallways we'd soon call home. Sitting down first period in a desk, thoughts raced through our minds, typical teenager thoughts. Is my outfit good? I don't know what I'm doing. I need to focus on school. There we were, timid little freshmen, but now young adults who stand tall. I'm proud to say our class of 2019 is by far the most outstanding in Waukegan High School history. We've engraved our stories into the very cracks in the hallways, the laughter that echoes in the classrooms, the lingering smell of onion cilantro on your fingertips, the ice creams we'd quickly eat with friends, tasting the sugar and the anticipation of summer on your tongue. To be there and back again. It's a sense of legacy. It doesn't mean you have to be the most smartest, the most talented. We just are what we are. But we're anything but average. Our academic and personal achievements are proof of that. It's a testament to our greatness and perseverance to be as true to ourselves as we can. The decisions of our past are the architects of our present. Or similarly, these 4 years are the building blocks of our full potential. Much like the building blocks you would be stacking on your third round of Tetris on your Chromebook instead of paying attention in class. Like the poet, the street philosopher Drake once said, I just flipped the switch. I don't know nobody else doing this. Yeah, I am what I am. Regardless of who you are, what your next chapter will be, whether that be college, the military, or the workforce, the world doesn't know what they've got coming. We're gonna make this place a better place. They've got proud and mighty bulldogs at the ready. Class, all I can ask is that you follow your dreams. Go out there and be successful, but please, be happy. When we leave today, we embark on a journey towards new opportunities. Keep your wings spread and eyes on the horizon. Thank you, class of 2019.
Thank you, Holly Rosales. I now direct your attention to our band, whose senior band members will now perform their last performance with a group entitled Awakening Hills.
Thank you, senior band members. You now may proceed back to your seats. I now ask the senior class representative to the stage to present the senior class gift.
On behalf of the Senior Class Council, Damari and I are honored to present the Waukegan High School 2019 Senior Class Gift. For those of you that don't know, this is a parting gift given by the graduating students to show our appreciation and something to remember the senior class by. Now, before we present it, we would like to thank Mr. French for all of his hard work throughout the school year. Over the school year, we were able to raise $5,000 through various activities, whether it was running the coffee cart or selling senior shirts. It wouldn't have been possible without the guidance Mr. French offered.
This year, we decided to start a new project by donating all of the money we collected to create a memorial path. This memorial path will be made out of bricks, some of which will be engraved so that students and faculty can have the opportunity to leave their mark at Waukegan High School. It will include beautiful bushes and also benches to allow students to eat their lunch in the area. This memorial path will be located at Washington campus outside the lunchroom doors.
I accept this gift on behalf of Waukegan High School and Waukegan School District 60. Thank you.
Before I say a few words, I'd like to take a moment to have our military personnel, active, reserve, and veterans in the audience please stand and be recognized. We also have some of our graduates that are taking the oath to serve our military. Please stand and be recognized when your name is called. Samuel Alcazara Guadarrama, George Andino, Maritza Armas, Urban Benitez Tajarda, Emil Brown, Uriel Cajaldro, Emily Collin, Osmar Dominguez, Jimena Flores, Juan Hernandez, Alexander Hernandez, Ahmad Leo, Nicholas Lennon, Jason Lopez, Enrique Mendoza, Melissa Mendoza, Rogelio Montoya III, Ashley Ortego, Dakota Rincon, Miguel Salgado, Jacob Segura, Araceli Sobrianes, Leonardo Suarez, Aaron Williams, Julian Yap, and Jose Ziras. Please stand and be recognized. We all salute you for your service and sacrifice through which we can continue to enjoy our freedom to this, in this country. At this time, you may be seated. Some of you may have noticed some of your elementary and middle school principals here in attendance tonight. I ask these individuals to please stand and be recognized as for all their contributions as to why you're here today. Please stand. Thank you. I would next like to recognize a very special group of people. This group of people put in tireless hours over your educational career thus far to ensure that this day would happen for you and that you would be prepared for the challenges that await you upon you leaving here. Will all of our Waukegan High School teachers, administrators, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Last, but certainly not least, students, I want you to stand and recognize all of your parents, guardians, family, and friends that are here with you tonight that came to support you and to assist you in pushing you to get here when some of you thought you were going to give up. Please stand and recognize your parents and guests. Thank you for a job well done. Graduates, you may be seated.
So this stage of our event, we're going to be inviting the parents up. As I call the parents, please come up to the platform and receive your medals, present the medals to your children. Will the parents of valedictorian, Mr. Eric Bravo, please come to the stage? I would now like to invite the parents of our salutatorian, Mr. Ethan Ashworth, please come to the stage. Congratulations, sir. Is Grandma coming? I would now like to recognize the top 10 students, or the next 8 students with the highest grade point average behind the valedictorian, salutatorian of the class of 2019 that are on stage tonight. Please stand when your name is called. Marianne Chewy, Jessica Lechuga, Christian Antonio Santiago, Mireya Torino, Michelle Panaguitan, Annika Swanson, Tracy Lisby, Hasmin Medina. Thank you all, and thanks to your parents as well. Give them a round of applause, please.
Finally, I would also like to recognize students cum laude, signified by a green cord. Please stand. Will our magna cum laude graduate, signified by a purple cord, please stand. Now I ask that all of our seated students that are graduating summa cum laude, signified by a gold cord, please stand and be recognized. Congratulations, you may be seated.
At this time, it's my honor to have our Superintendent of Schools, Ms. Teresa Plasencia, take the podium for a message to our graduates. Ms. Plasencia.
Graduates, family, and friends, I'm very excited to be celebrating the class of 2019. For many of you, I imagine the weeks leading up today have been exciting yet melancholic. As you begin the new chapter full of possibilities and opportunities, you must also turn the page on what's comfortable and familiar. Like during all times of transition in our lives, you're probably a little overwhelmed. As you say farewell to classmates, friends, and educators who have impacted the last 4 years of your life, and you begin to plan for your future, I want to briefly speak on a simple truth that has proved useful to me in my experiences. 80% of success is just showing up. This quote has been attributed to many over the years, but its relevance has withstood the test of time. While you've completed your journey at Waukegan Public Schools as students, as lifelong learners, you are just beginning. The goal of an education system is not just to prepare you for the next chapter, nor is it to provide you with all the information you will need as you move forward in life. Since the beginning of your educational careers, each of you have been developing your ability to effectively accumulate, comprehend, and ultimately utilize information, to connect dots, to spot patterns, and to think broadly and creatively. We do this because true knowledge is just not the ability to recite facts and formulas. True knowledge is the power to apply information to various situations in one's life and the lives of others. Regardless of where your path takes you, you should take some comfort in knowing what you have been doing during your time here is more or less exactly what you will be doing as you continue the rest of your life. Accumulating knowledge and applying it to your professional and personal lives. And as you continue to develop as people, you'll find the most successful people aren't necessarily the most intelligent or gifted, but those who understand the power of knowledge and embrace learning for a lifetime. Whatever path you choose to dedicate your time, I urge you all just to keep showing up with an open mind. Be present for any opportunity to learn, to challenge yourself, to practice, and to grow. Everyone here will make mistakes, as failure is simply an unavoidable part of being human. But learning from our failures and continuing to show up with the wisdom gained from falling down is how we grow into people we aspire to be. Now, with that in mind, it seems as a perfect time to recognize a student who exemplified the importance of showing up. Please join me in congratulating Herrick Popoka, who is the only member of the class of 2019 who achieved perfect attendance during their high school career. Herrick Popoka, please come to the stage. I will leave you with this. Never stop learning. Never stop trying to improve yourself. Never stop growing. Class of 2019, congratulations again, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Placencia. I would now call to the podium our board president, Mr. Brandon Ewing, to deliver his message to the graduates.
I start off this evening by saying good afternoon, fellow Bulldogs. So this is it. You're 18. You're done with your classes. Many of you are going off to college. Some of you are starting your jobs and careers. Others of you are going off to proudly serve our country. You're finally grown and an adult, right? Yeah, see you cheering. You don't have to listen to what your parents say, and you can make your own decisions, right? I'm here to say that if you knew what I knew about adulting, you wouldn't be in such a hurry to grow up. It's a trap. But seriously, I want to tell you that I am honored to be here speaking with you this evening. About 10 years ago, I sat right where you guys are sitting today. So I know that many of you could care less what I'm getting ready to say. But I will not be in front of you for long, and I just hope that I can give you a little bit of information. I mentioned that I'm honored to be here this evening speaking to you from this podium because based on my background, society says that I should not be speaking to you. from here. I was a teen father. I'm a minority. I only have a community college education. And like you are doing today, I graduated from Waukegan High School. With that background, society says I shouldn't be one of the youngest managers at a financial institution with more than $3 billion in assets. With that background, society says that I shouldn't have started a Facebook page promoting fatherhood that reaches over 70,000 people from around the country. With that background, society says that I shouldn't have started a male mentorship group right here at my former high school with the former teacher, Mr. Chuck Gutman. With that background, society didn't expect me to get married and take care of my family and also go on to serve my community. With that background, society didn't expect me to be the youngest Waukegan School District president in history, elected this past April, standing here speaking to you this afternoon from this podium. Well, I'm here to tell you that based on your background and where you come from, society may have some low expectations of you. Some of you in the audience, like I was, are teen parents. Some of you in the audience may be first generation or undocumented. Some of your families may not be as wealthy as other families. Some of you don't come from a two-parent home with a white picket fence where dinner was at 7 p.m. and bedtime at 9:30 every day. Some of you have younger siblings who are dependent on you. Some of you may be the first person in your family going to college or even graduating from high school. And the vast majority of you sitting out there this afternoon are minorities. And all of you will be Waukegan High School graduates. Now, those are just some of the reasons that society may have low expectations of you. But what I learned at Waukegan High School, and I hope you learned it too, is that your potential and your capacity is not dictated or limited by society's expectations. What Waukegan taught me is that no matter the difficulty or adversities you may face, you can overcome. What my time at Waukegan taught me is that the world is imperfect, and despite those imperfections, we have an obligation to speak up and to speak out to help to continue and foster a more perfect union. What my time in Waukegan taught me is that we all have choices, and those choices can lead to both positive and negative outcomes. As you look around, not every person you started high school with is here next to you because of the choices that they may have made. I didn't learn those things on my own, just as you haven't learned them on your own. But these things were taught to us, first by our parents, many of whom are in the audience today, and secondly, by our teachers. I had teachers like Mr. Chen, who was a first-year teacher, who in a moment of frustration at my behaviors vented that he wouldn't be so angry if he didn't know my full potential. I learned it for teachers, now principals like Mr. Silva, who made learning about the Constitution fun and challenged me, and teachers like Mr. Johnson, who introduced me to characters in literature who looked like me and my friends. I learned it from Mr. Turner, who challenged me to be the light and wouldn't accept anything less than my best. I learned it from teachers like Miss Roche, who forced me to think about a world outside of Waukegan, and also from a rapping biology teacher who taught 2 periods of biology class while in labor. I learned it from teachers like Menike, who held me after class when he noticed that my mood was down and I had become more reserved. And he was the first person that I confessed that I was expecting my first child at 16. He looked at me and told me that that wouldn't stop me from becoming anything I wanted to be, and he knew I would be a great father, and that now I needed to work twice as hard. Menike. I learned it from teachers like Miss Schultz and Miss Barman, who taught me that teachers could be cool. From people like Mr. Gutman, who demanded that I serve my community. I learned it from teachers like Miss Wagner, who would not allow us to disparage our own school or use our lack of resources as an excuse, but demanded that we compete at a level equal to or above our peers from more affluent districts. I learned it from teachers like Miss Hatchett and Miss Klein and Mr. Cosgrove, who every day help students work through their frustrations with challenging subjects and gave of their time, staying late and coming in early to make sure that every one of their students had the opportunity to learn. Teachers like Mr. Blair, who challenged all his students to be great. I learned it from security guards like Mr. C, who would call me Obama every day because he wanted me to know that I was a leader. Waukegan High School and every single one of its staff taught me that regardless of where I come from or what my situation was, I could be anything I wanted to be. And I came here this afternoon to let you know that society does not dictate your potential, you do. You can be anything you want to be. I came here to remind you that everything you have been through has made you stronger and gotten you to this point. I came here to remind you that each and every single one of you are amazing and you have a gift and you can be great. Not the greatness that comes from society standards or from material possessions, but a greatness in knowing you left this world, this city, and this school better than when you found it. So while society may not expect much, know that I expect you, Waukegan High School class of 2019, to change this world. Thank you and congratulations.
I have the special honor to introduce our guest speaker, Ms. Reina Hernandez, to deliver her message to our graduates. Reina Hernandez is a longtime community advocate who has dedicated her career to support education, leadership development, and capacity building, particularly in Latino and immigrant communities. She has worked to empower youth, families, educators, and advocates to better understand, navigate, and engage with various systems around them, serving as a bridge between communities and policy. She is currently Director of Research and Policy Development at the National Association for Family, School, and Community Engagement. She also provides strategic support to nonprofits, startups, school districts, and community-based efforts. Reina previously served as Assistant Superintendent at the Illinois State Board of Education for 5 years, working to address educational equity across Illinois. She oversaw the Division of English Language Learners, Early Childhood, Family, Community Engagement initiatives, leading efforts to develop and implement policies for a statewide family engagement framework, a framework for equitable access and excellence for English learners, the state seal of biliteracy, and expansion of state preschool. She has also served as adjunct faculty at DePaul University teaching educators about contextual and policy issues impacting Latinos and English learners in education. Her previous experiences include advocating as a research and policy associate at the Latino Policy Forum, engaging families as the community education parent facilitator at Waukegan District 60, and engaging youth in their own leadership development as educational director and trustee at the National Hispanic Institute. Reina is a member of the Waukegan High School class of 1999. When Reina graduated, she graduated cum laude with a Bachelor's of Arts in Government from Harvard University and holds a law degree from New York Law School. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Ms. Reina Hernandez.
Thank you so much. I am so proud to be here. First and foremost, I am a proud Waukegan girl, born and raised, so thank you for having me. Es un gran placer estar aquí. Yo nací y me crié aquí en Waukegan. Me gradué hace 20 años. I graduated 20 years ago. I was sitting right where you were, 20 years yesterday. And so to be here is such a privilege. I wanted to talk about a few things, but just wanted to start off with celebration and gratitude. You just heard your school board president talk about those expectations that we have for you, and I am absolutely on board with him. We have so many expectations because we know what Waukegan is, and we know what you're capable of, and we know it wasn't easy for you to get here. Some of you worked while you were in high school. You took care of siblings. Some of you were struggling with mental health issues. Some of you were dealing with other challenges, or maybe taking college credits. I know that there's one of you that just graduated with an associate's in criminal justice while getting your high school diploma. So it is not easy for anyone, but all of you are here also because of the people in those bleachers, the people sitting behind you. So an applause for your family, familias. Muchísimas gracias por todo lo que han hecho. Sabemos que uno no llega aquí, no llegamos solos, ¿verdad? Esto es un camino que requiere muchísimos pasos y mucho apoyo. I remember in my family, while I was in high school, I had little sisters. I remember having a baby and a toddler in arm, and people just assumed that they were my children, and they were my sisters. But my parents, my dad worked and was going to college. My mom was going to college, so we were all in school together, and it was all hands on deck, right? And at the same time, I was trying to maintain my honors and getting accepted into some of the country's best colleges. And sí se puede, we can do it, right? So I wanted to talk to you, just 3 nuggets, things that have helped me along the way in my story. They've been really, really important I've talked to friends, family, and across the board to be successful, to be happy. You're gonna hear a little bit of an echo from what so many of the speakers talked about today. First, it's so important to know yourself, to know who you are, because up until now, a whole lot of people have been telling you who you should be, what you should believe, what should matter to you, what's right, what's wrong. You've heard it at school, you've heard it at home, but now you're crossing a threshold, and now it's time for you to figure that out for yourself and to really decide who you are and what matters to you, because there is no one right path. You just heard some of my story. I was in your seat 20 years ago. 4 years later, I was graduating with honors from Harvard University. 6 years later, or 2 years later, I was right back here working in this school district. Then I was graduating from law school, getting admitted into the bar, working at the state. I was one of the highest ranking Latinas in this state, and my story shouldn't have ended that way, but that was my story. My brother is an artist. Going to Harvard wouldn't have been the right choice for him. My sister's a community activist. Going to law school wouldn't have been the right choice for her. There is no one right path, no one right outcome. There is no timeline that's the right timeline. Some of you are going to work from here. Some of you are going to college. Some of you are going into the military. Take your time and do what makes sense for you. No hay un camino correcto. Y para tantos padres que están ahí, quieren lo mejor para sus hijos y a veces pensamos que hay un camino, que hay una forma de tener éxito. Y queremos absolutamente lo mejor, pero todos saben que cada hijo es distinto. Cada uno tiene sus valores, sus intereses, sus capacidades, sus talentos. Y eso significa que no hay un solo camino. Y el camino que se tome, hay que estar para apoyar y saber que de allí viene el éxito. The second thing is be proud of who you are as you find out who you are. You've heard a lot of Waukegan pride. I am Waukegan proud and always have been. But as you heard, a lot of times those expectations, because you're from Waukegan, because you're a woman, because you're Latino, because you're from this part of town, are not always going to be for you to have that, that success that you're looking for. And it's going to be up to you to make sure that you don't let that limit you. You can't change others. You can't change how others perceive you, but you can make sure that you don't let it limit who you are and where you're going. When I was in your shoes thinking about where to go, I already had a letter, an acceptance letter in hand from Harvard University, and I wasn't sure that that was the right place for me. And the first time that I questioned it was for all the wrong reasons. My mom says, "Mija, you've been accepted into one of the best universities in the country. How could you not know that that's where you're gonna go?" And I was like, "Mom, come on. We're not that kind of people." She's like, "What kind of people?" And I said, come on, we're not rich. I'm not white, right? We speak Spanish. We're always together. My family was always together. I was like, I don't belong there. And she goes, "Mija, have you ever been there? What do you know about Harvard?" And I was like, "Well, I've never been there. I've never been there." And she pushed me. She says, "You have your own prejudices, right? You're using your own biases to limit yourself." She's like, no, you're not going to make a decision in ignorance." So we went, we visited, and it turned out that it ended up being a place where I could flourish. I learned ballet folklorico, Mexican ballet folklorico at Harvard University. Never would have expected that. I found family there. But I almost limited my opportunities because of my own prejudices and my own ignorance. You cannot let other people's expectations be an imposition on you. Hay que asegurarnos de que nosotros no somos los que nos autolimitamos. Porque a veces nuestras ideas de lo que se puede, de lo que no se puede, de quiénes somos y de lo que somos capaces, son la primera limitación. Y tenemos que saber que hay demasiadas posibilidades y hay que echarle ganas, porque sí se puede. The third thing is power. You have power, and don't ever forget it. I learned this lesson from a 24-year-old youth activist a couple years ago. We're co-mentors. I mentor him and he mentors me. Last year he ran for alderman and almost won in the city of Chicago. And as we were training this group of young leaders, we're talking about power and he says, what is power? What do you think power is? And what do you think people talked about? First thing, money. It's a title, it's access, it's politics, it's all these other things. And he said, think about it this way. Power is the ability to act in order to have an impact. Power is the ability to act in order to have an impact. We all want something here. You all have dreams, you all have expectations. Can you do one thing today that moves you closer? Sometimes we get frustrated, right? Because we feel like we don't have enough money, enough time, enough capacity today to get to where we want to go. When my brother was dealing with his battle with cancer, he got so frustrated and he felt so defeated because he found himself in a situation where there were a lot of things he couldn't do. I can't. He had been in school and he had to drop his classes in order to get treatment. And one day I sat him down and said, Lucas, think about what you can do. What do you want to accomplish? And he's like, well, I want to be a guidance counselor. And I said, okay, let's talk about what you can do today. And we sat down and we made a plan. And we said, he has a computer, he still has use of his brain, and he has time. And so we signed him up for some online courses. I signed up for some online courses, and we both realized we had power that we weren't using. And we weren't taking the steps we could take to move forward. Sometimes we want more, but it has to be enough. My brother loves superheroes. You guys all watch superhero movies? There's always that point where the superhero has power, no one knows they have power. Sometimes they didn't even know they had the power, and they have to decide whether or not to use it, whether or not to take on the responsibility to do good for other people, right? And then in those movies, you also see regular people, no superpowers, but they take action and they actually do something to help someone else. They have power and they use that power. So, quiero asegurarme de que sepamos que el poder no es solo el dinero, no es solo la política. Cada uno, mientras que tengamos la capacidad de hacer algo que le ayuda a alguien más, que nos ayuda a nosotros, que nos avanza, tenemos poder. Hay que usarlo. So, as you think about it, always be grateful, celebrate, and show gratitude to the people that help you. Know who you are. Make sure that you're proud of every part of you. Sometimes we think we've got these strengths and these weaknesses. Every part matters. And never forget that you have power. It's up to you to take the choice, take on the responsibility to act, move forward, and make something amazing happen for you and for your community. Sí se puede. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you and congratulations.
No, I'm not saying it. Thank you very much, Ms. Hernandez. Before we get ready for the last part where we're going to set up the stage for graduation, I want to ask some of the people who've helped you along your path to stand up. Dr. Nyberg, Ms. Cruz, Mrs. Swope, our culture and climate folks who helped provide your safety, Mr. Thompson, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Viltz, Paulette Barnes, Mr. Robinson, Mr. Polk, please stand up. And all your teachers, if you're in the audience, teachers, please stand up. Give them a round of applause. They helped you. So also before the final part, we have the Mr. Vasquez, who's helped many of our students along the way. Your wonderful counselors are all with you. Make sure you say your thanks to them. For me, one of my personal mentors, Dr. Manji, who's in the audience, came down to see this event. Give them all special thanks on your way out. Students, are you ready? I can hear you. Are you ready? I don't think they're ready. Are you ready? All right, make ready to receive your diplomas.
Are you guys ready? I would like to recognize the leadership team of Waukegan High School. They are Mr. Briner, lead co-principal, Dr. Terry, Washington campus co-principal, and the directors are Dr. Nyberg, Mrs. Cruz, and Mr. Swopes. At this time, I would like to present the top 10 students. They are Eric Bravo, Ethan Ashworth, Marianne Chewy, Jessica Lechuga, Christian Antonio Santiago, Mireya Tenorio, Michelle Penagitan, and Nika Swanson, Tracy Lisby, Jasmine Medina, will the first row please stand? Denise Martinez, Demara Williams, Holly Rosales, Monica Payne,
Isaac Abrego,
Jacqueline Acosta,
Melissa Acosta,
Brianna Acosta,
Samari Adams Harper,
Michael Addison,
Eliana Aguilar,
Dylan Castilleja,
Manuel Aguilar,
Jimmy Aguilar,
Ileana Aguirre Gomez.
Leslie Aguilera.
Rayhan Ahmed.
Emma Ahern.
Saul Alcalan.
Javier Alacon.
Joanna Marie Aldaba.
Ezekiel Alcantara.
Jennifer Alejo.
Marisa Aldama.
Monica Almazan.
Sani Foster.
Brian Alvarado.
Exmena Alejos.
Jacqueline Alvarado Aguirre.
Samuel Alquicera Guadarrama.
Celine Alvarez.
Omar Alvarado.
Melanie Alvarez.
Aralín Álvarez.
Giovanni Alvir.
Patricia Álvarez.
Brandon Anaya.
Yesenia Ambris.
Stephanie Andrade.
Jorge Andino.
Catherine Angelopoulos.
Sergio Ángel.
Jillian Anit.
Christopher Anguiano.
Wendy Melissa Arboleda Galindo.
Juan Apracicio Pérez.
Ashley Arcos Garcia.
Jason Arceo.
Cesar Arismendi.
Jordi Areas.
Christopher Arismendi Salas.
Juan Arismendi.
Maritza Armas.
Sergio Arizola.
Daniel Arroyo.
Carlin Arnold.
Stephanie Arroyo.
Elgar Arroyo.
Mario Arroyo.
Jonathan Arroyo.
Kelsey Avela.
Jacob Avilal.
Anthony Ayala.
Anthony Avila.
Hannah Bartz.
Julene Ayala.
Julianne Ballard.
Joy Baena.
Larry Varela.
Dan Balona.
Jada Barner.
Ruben Barajos.
Larry Barton III.
Jayla Bates.
Giovanni Bedoya.
Laura Bedoya.
Marcus Pejena.
Christian Beltran.
Anthony Benitez.
Denise Benitez.
Jareli Bernal.
Joanna Bernal.
Camille Bernardo.
Robbie Bishop.
Sydney Berry.
Ariana Glopep.
Eric Blanco.
Kingston Bone Jr.
Jovan Bobadilla.
Rose Bradshaw.
Anastasia Bracy.
Stephanie Bravo.
Tyrone Brantley.
Isabel Briseño.
Victor Bravo.
Bryant Brown.
Amiel Brown.
Jaden Brown.
Jordan Brown.
Martise Brown.
Chave Brown.
Ellie Borles.
Cindy Bucio Marin.
Aaron Buckley.
Jennifer Bueno.
Stephanie Burgos Retana.
Alexander Bustamante.
Justice Busto.
Katia Bustos.
Yacil Bustos.
Daniel Caballero.
Noel Cabezas.
María Caceres Palma.
Madeline Calderón.
Betania Calzada.
Daniel Casada.
Aileen Calzada.
Josué Cámara.
Celina Cambre.
Arelis Campa.
Bryant Campos.
Julio Campesano.
Jason Canales.
Marla Kanda.
Noemi Cano Gallardo.
Areli Cantú.
Edwin Cantú Andrade.
Iris Cantú.
Carolina Cardenas Aguilar.
Veleya Cardona.
Alicia Carlson.
Gilberto Carmona.
Nathaniel Carrasco Garcia.
Jamalit Carreno.
Daniela Carrera Garcia.
Martín Carreto.
Enrique Carillo.
Cariciela Carillo.
Noe Carrillo.
Andrés Castaneda.
Melissa Castaneda.
Guadalupe Castellanos.
Alex Castillo Fuentes.
Angélica Castillo.
Nadia Castrejón.
Yadeli Castellón.
Carlos Catalán.
Eric Castellón.
Kobe Caudilla.
Jamalet Castellón.
Sergio Casares Jr.
Carl Malone Caudilla.
Eric Cervantes Cruz.
Alex Casares.
Dayanara Chapa.
Talmila Chappelle.
Jonathan Chavez.
Catherine Chirinos Rodriguez.
Davion Claiborne Jones.
Emily Collins.
Brandon Colunga.
Evelyn Contreras.
Kevin Contreras Melendez.
Jorge Contreras Rodriguez.
Daniel Cooper.
Ashley Cordova.
Liliana Cordova.
Gisele Corona.
Sergio Cortez Gutierrez.
Jaime Cortez.
Imari Kreit.
Miguel Cruz.
Yasmin Cruz Cortez.
Exini Cruz.
Yatsari Cuellar.
Keelan Curtis.
Christian Cuello.
Jalen Cunningham.
Nevea Davis.
Marisol de la Mora.
Salvador de la Cruz Delgado.
Tamora Curry.
Dylan de la Torre.
Grace de la Rosa.
Gabriel de la Sancha.
Brandon Derrick.
Raúl Delgadillo.
Malasia DeVost Stewart.
Jasmine Delgado.
Alejandra Diaz.
Sharina Diaz Gonzalez.
Jennifer Diaz.
Diana Diaz.
Jose Diaz.
Jose Diaz.
Juan Desmes Cruz.
Kiana Diaz.
Giovanna Dominguez.
Elizabeth Domalik.
Osmar Dominguez.
Joshua Dominguez.
Noben Dasso.
Rebecca Dominguez.
Eric Doyne.
Misara Doso.
Marlon Duran.
Sam Duran.
Mark McLean Jr.
Jocelyn Duvon.
Daniel Echevarria Zarate.
Karis Echevarria.
David Echevarria Zarate.
Ryan Edinburgh.
Genesis Irazo Murillo.
Jesse Escutia.
Francisco Espinosa.
Christian Espinosa Gomez.
Stephanie Estrada.
Jorge Estribero Fortuno.
Abigail Estudillo Camacho.
Erica Evitz.
David Ewing.
Miguel Fabian Salceda.
Tania Fajardo Ochoa.
Isaiah Faison.
Angelica Favela.
Marvin Fadul.
Fernando Felix.
Jason Farias.
Genesis Fernandez.
Daniel Favela.
Evelyn Figueroa.
Yvonne Fermin.
John Figueroa.
Anthony Farrow.
Sign Fleming.
Jocelyn Figueroa.
Betsabeth Flores.
Noel Figueroa Cervantes.
Daniela Flores.
Alex Flores.
Deshelle Flores.
Helen Flores.
Jasmine Flores.
Jimena Flores.
Aurora Flores Gaitán.
Catherine Flores Ruiz.
Shavandra Float.
Janelli Fragoso.
Alicia Fryer Taylor.
Carlos Fuentes.
David Fuentes.
Evelyn Crystal Fuentes.
Cecilia Galindo.
Jonathan Fuentes.
Areli Gallardo.
Justin Fuentes.
Elizabeth Gallardo.
Kevin Galindo.
Vanessa Gallegos.
Darinel Gallardo.
Ana Gallo.
Jaslyn Gallegos.
Alex Calvez.
Yadira Gallegos.
Andres Garcia.
Liliana Galvan.
Andrew Garcia.
Alexis Garcia.
Angelica Garcia.
Anaí Garcia.
Emily Garcia.
Angel Garcia.
Enera Garcia. Aldon.
Ashley Garcia.
Graviela Garcia.
Stephanie Garcia.
Juliette Garcia.
Ihara Garcia.
Katina Garcia.
Kevin Garcia.
Kimberly Garcia.
Luis Garcia.
Luis Garcia.
Lindy Garcia.
Maria Garcia.
Samuel Garcia.
Saibatsu Garcia.
Mario Garcia Bueno.
Brandon Garcia Diaz.
Michael Garcia Martinez.
Diego Garcia Sanchez.
Rodrigo Garcia Sanchez.
Lisbeth Garcia Vasquez.
Leonardo Garibay.
Marsco Garabay.
Alexis Gaspar.
Leslie Gaspar Centillo.
Moises Gaitan. Hannah Gerald.
Devian Gento.
Dania Godinez.
Chloe Gurnek.
Alexis Gomez.
Abigail Gomez.
Citlali Gomez.
Anaí Gomez.
Pedro Gomez.
Idalis Gomez.
José Gómez Patino.
Kenneth Gomez Castro.
Daniel Gonzalez.
Anaí Gonzalez.
Melissa Gonzalez.
Eric Gonzalez.
Julissa Gonzalez Huerta.
Roberto Gonzalez.
Nancy Gonzalez Villafan.
Fatima Gonzalez Mares.
Michael Grajales.
Terrell Gordon.
Tiffany Graves.
Asa Genesis Maxwell Gratian.
Angel Greenwood.
Not bad for the first time. Jasmine Gray.
Edwin Grijalva.
Kalia Griffin.
Lupita Guadarrama.
Emmanuel Guadarrama.
Emmanuel Guardado.
Ivan Guerrero.
Ricardo Guerrero.
Jennifer Guerrero.
Itzel Guevara.
Carolina Guevara.
Alondra Gutierrez.
Emanigun Young.
Giovanni Gutierrez.
Dariana Gutierrez.
Selena Gutierrez.
Marco Gutierrez.
Angelica Guzman.
Byron Gutierrez Mengua.
Crystal Guzman.
Bianca Guzman.
Ariana Harlan.
Kevin Guzman.
Diego Henao.
Dalen Harlan.
Alexander Hernandez.
Salvador El Muso Yillo.
April Hernandez.
Alan Hernandez.
Brandon Hernandez.
Areli Hernandez.
Jacqueline Hernandez.
Erwin Hernandez.
Jessica Hernandez.
Jennifer Hernandez.
Jocelyn Hernandez.
Jonathan Hernandez.
Kenneth Hernandez.
Juan Hernandez.
Carlos Hernandez Serrano.
Marisol Hernandez.
Enrique Herrera.
Areli Herrera.
Dejane Hodge.
Jasmine Heister.
Taylor Hubbard.
Megan Howard.
Javier Huerta Millán Jr.
Ailud Huerta.
Carla Infante.
Taishuan Hughes.
Roxana Itzaguirre.
Malik Inghas.
Jordan Jackson.
Brian Juancito.
Samaya James.
Teresa Jacobo.
Nakaya Jewel.
Rochelle Jenkins.
Jada Johnson.
Daisy Jimenez.
Tatiana Johnson. Thomas Johnson.
Davian Jones.
Joyal Joseph.
Desiree Juarez.
Artemio Juarez Alcantara.
Gabriel Juarez Romero.
Simrandeep Kaur.
Ojala Khan.
Randeep Kangura.
Brandon Lagunas Vara.
Erica Lamoth Acosta.
Jose Landa.
Ashley Landero.
Amelia Lara.
Alexis Lara.
Vanessa Lara.
Ahmad Leal.
Anthony Lena.
Nicholas Lennon.
Angel Leon.
Giovanni Leonides.
Ariane Lewis.
Genesis Lizardo.
Itzel Lobo.
Jorel Lobo.
Hector Lobo Juarez.
Byron Lobo Diaz.
Eric Lopez.
Gabriel Lopez.
Maria Lopez.
Melissa Lopez.
Natalie Lopez.
Axel Lopez.
Isaac Lopez Carreño.
Jesús López Hurtado.
Ulises Lopez Magaña.
Daniela López Parra.
Angie Luna.
Ashley Luna.
Excel Luna.
Alexandra Luvianos.
Jocelyn Madrigal.
Angel Magallal.
Chloe Maldonado.
Edwin Maldonado.
Fernando Mallory.
Yatsiri Malpica.
Celine Mancera.
Yareli Mancilla.
Jackie Mangala.
Lisette Marban.
Kimberly Marcano.
John Marquez Silva.
Kiana Marquez.
Phoebe Marcano.
Carol Martinez.
Brian Martinez.
Brian Martinez.
Christopher Martinez.
Deandra Martinez.
Emilio Martinez.
Ivan Martinez.
Jasmine Martinez.
Jose Martinez.
Julio Martinez.
Calvin Martinez.
Kristen Martinez.
Mariah Martinez.
Giovanni Martinez Bravo.
Katia Martinez Diaz.
Samantha Martinez Varela.
Jonathan Martinez.
Jocelyn Mason.
Jennifer Mateos.
Luis Matute.
Craig McLean Jr.
John McCain.
Willie McClendon.
Alila McDonald.
Dejanay Tierra Monique McDuffie. Lejeune McDuffie.
Jarrell McMillan.
Alexa Matute Acosta.
Mariana Medina.
Andy Medina.
Scarlett Mencia Cardosa.
Angel Melendez.
Kenrick Okupe.
Abby Mendez.
Adali Mendez.
Danua Mendez.
Melissa Mendez.
Leonardo Mendez Colín.
Antonio Mendez Saavedra.
Jocelyn Mendieta Castro.
Derek Mendoza.
Jean Carlos Mendoza.
Johan Mendoza.
Melissa Mendoza.
Michelle Mendoza.
Miriam Mendoza.
Munir Mendoza Almendares.
Oscar Mendoza Hernandez.
Viviana Mendoza Salazar.
Alexander Menendez Reyes.
Marlene Mercado.
Daniela Merino.
Ashley Mesa.
Salvador Mesa Gomez.
Elder Mesa Villatoro.
Esaú Millán.
Angeles Milan Garibay.
Andrea Miller.
Giovanni Mojica.
Tania Molina.
Brandon Monroy. Is that Sinai?
Carol Molino.
Sinaí Montes de Oca.
Cedric Montejo.
Rogelio Montoya III.
Gladys Montes Trujillo.
Adamaris Mora.
Ivan Morales.
Iro Moon.
Michelle Morales.
Demia Morain.
Adrian Moreno Martinez.
Cynthia Morales.
Anaí Motino.
Maria Morales.
Ivan Mujica.
Yasmin Morales.
Maribel Muñoz Aboites.
Trinity Moss.
Roberto Murillo.
Karen Moya.
Jadnia Nava.
Manuel Mujica Jr.
Yasmin Nava Montero.
Oscar Murillo.
Aleisa Noriega.
had one of them
Kimberlyn Novoa. Daniela,
Nico Myers.
Daniela Nunez.
Laura Nava.
Michelle Ocampo.
Leona Nelson.
Max Ocampo.
Juliana Novello.
Isidro Olea.
Christian Nunez.
Michael Oliva.
Brian Nunez Torres.
Jose Ochoa.
Andrea Ocampo Salgado.
Diana Orduna Velasco.
Kevin Oliva.
Mark Olvera.
Isabel Ochoa.
Tania Ortiz.
Jocelyn Ochoa.
Christian Ortiz.
Juan Carlos Olvera Núñez.
Emer Ortiz Flores.
Miguel Orozco.
Zuleika Oseguera Padilla.
Ashley Ortega.
Adriana Otero Ortiz.
Lisette Ortiz.
Abraham Palomar.
Valeria Ortiz Torres.
Brice Pantoja.
Jennifer Osiguera.
David Palomo.
Jocelyn Otero.
Carlos Pasillas.
Carla Pacheco.
Alicia Patino Ruiz. Jaden Patnett.
Marilesis Parada.
Francesca Paz.
Manuel Pasillas III.
Osvaldo Pedrosa.
Paula Patlan.
Ricardo Perdomo.
Imani Patterson.
Ashley Perez.
Gerardo Pedraza Jr.
Janely Perez.
Berenice Perdomo.
Carla Perez.
Ane Perez,
Christian Perez Antonio,
Jacqueline Perez,
Cesar Ortiz Flores,
Jasmine Perez,
Glenn Pitts II,
Catherine Perez,
Maria Pisano,
Olivia Petruska,
Trayvon Polk,
Alexander Pisano,
Eric Popoca,
Emily Pisano Lopez,
Guadalupe Popoca Ocampo,
Travis Pook,
Hans Richardson,
Mahal Poniente,
Maishan Riddle,
Valeria Portillo,
Viviana Rios Ventura,
Alfredo Rico Rodriguez,
Rosemary Rivas,
Matthew Rios,
Karim Rivera,
Alexis Rivas,
Mateo Rivera,
Gustavo Rivera,
Taylor Rivera,
Manuel Rivera,
Faith Robinson,
Mystica Rivera,
Nayeli Reyes,
Sergio Rivera,
Alyssa Rodriguez,
Max Robin,
Charlie Rodriguez,
Gary Rodas,
Delela Rodriguez,
Carolina Rodriguez,
Destiny Rodriguez,
Damian Rodriguez,
Emily Rodriguez,
Denise Rodriguez,
Fernando Rodriguez,
Emily Rodriguez,
Mario Rodriguez,
Esther Rodriguez,
Omar Rodriguez,
Francisco Rodriguez,
Yvette Rodriguez,
Giselle Rodriguez,
Hannah Rogers,
Juan Rodriguez,
Juliana Rojas,
Nancy Rodriguez,
Julian Rogel,
Sabrina Rodriguez,
Christian Roman,
Celia Rogel Lopez,
Jasmine Romero,
Estefania Rojas,
Nicole Romero,
Chesenia Rojas,
Axel Rosales,
Abigail Roman,
Giselle Rosales,
James Romero,
Yamil Rosales,
Juan Romero,
Emmanuel Ruiz,
Ulysses Romero,
Jocelyn Ruiz,
Eric Rosales,
Jesus Ruiz Quesada,
Jacqueline Rosales,
Antonio San Juan,
Daniela Rosales Murillo,
Fabián Saldívar Gómez,
Emily Ruiz,
Stephanie Salgado,
Vanessa Ruiz,
Joana Salgado,
Melvin Russell,
Alejandro Sanchez,
Christian Sayens,
Jose Sanchez,
Pedro Salamanca,
Vanessa Sanchez,
Marigold Sagun,
Yareli Sanchez,
Carla Sewan,
Ángeles Sanchez Valencia,
Katia Saldana,
Carmela Sandoval,
Miguel Salgado,
Oscar Santos,
Victor Salgado,
Casey Schaefer,
Alexia Lynn Salinas,
Ashley Shrugs,
Daniel Sanchez,
Jacob Segura,
Miraya Sanchez,
Nestor Serrano,
Victor Sanchez,
Beyonce Shannon,
Edwin Sanchez Rodriguez,
Selena Silva,
Anaida Sandoval,
Nelly Silva Zavala,
Ceciana Santana,
LaQueen Sims,
Emily Sacedo,
Kayla Smith,
Natalia Scott,
Araceli Soberanis,
Israel Secundino,
Edgar Sonido,
Denise Serna,
Alexander Sosomen,
Rodolfo Serrano,
Tanya Sotelo,
Ashley Silva,
Jocelyn Soto,
Daisy Smith,
Kanisha Strickland,
Zaria Smith,
Asharina Marie Tampus,
Sergio Solano,
Alyssa Tantenko,
Luis Sosa,
Javion Taylor,
Erica Sostre,
Santana Delis,
Wendy Sotela Garcia,
Kevin Deyes,
Nicholas Strack,
Juan Temposotlan,
Leonardo Suarez,
Rain Thomas,
Ayesa Tampes,
Giselle Thompson,
Efrain Tapia,
Sandy Tinoco Alvarado,
Miguel Tejada,
John Torres,
Alexander Tellez,
Lazarus Torres,
Nayeli Tellez,
Miguel Torres Gonzalez,
Tyann Terrell,
Andy Trujillo,
Carrie-Ann Terrelong,
Marjorie Urbina Contreras,
Yashan Thomas,
Jesus Uribe,
Diavian Thomas,
Sebastián Valencia Santiago,
Clayton Thorne,
Luis Valdez Garcia,
Steve Tobar,
Deanna Valdovinos,
Vania Torres,
Jonathan Valenzuela,
Alicia Torres Acosta,
Ismar Valladares,
Renato Tovar,
Marvin Van,
Moises Trujillo,
Miguel Bara,
Angelina Urdiales Con,
Omar Vargas,
Henry Urastagui,
Yahaira Vargas Madrigal,
Jocelyn Valdivia,
Lola Vasquez,
Edwin Valencia,
Nancy Vaval,
Rachel Valle,
Emmanuel Vasquez,
Lisandro Vara,
José Vázquez Hernández,
Jasmine Vara Baldomero,
Janet Vázquez Torres,
Jaime Vargas Flores,
Edwin Prado,
Jasmine Vasquez,
Stephanie Quiroz,
Yaritza Vasquez Leguzamo,
Jordan Pratt.
Anthony Vasquez.
Alondra Quevedo Ochoa.
Evelyn Vasquez.
Aileen Quiñones.
Julio Vasquez.
Francisco Ramirez.
Alejandro Vasquez Rodriguez.
Michael Ramirez.
Alexis Prado Cruz.
Itzlali Ramirez.
Angel Poyer.
Alejandro Rea.
Nancy Pulido.
Steve Rea Acosta.
Leslie Quesada Jaquez.
Levi Reyes.
Christian Quiroz.
Gabriel Vela.
Areli Ramirez.
Shirley Velasquez Sosa.
Joanna Ramirez.
Joe Marelli Verdejo.
Viviana Ramirez.
Carlos Villa.
Ana Ramos.
Andres Villagomez.
Leslie Ria.
Jessica Villalobos.
Destiny Reed.
Cameron Washington.
Samantha Retana.
Gabriella White.
Jacqueline Reyes.
Raymond White.
Yasmin Reyes Cerda.
Monique Williams.
Fatima Velasco.
Christopher Williams.
Mayrim Vera.
Dominique Williams.
Marianne Vergara.
Jose Wood.
Monica Villa.
Joanna Chinol.
Jennifer Villagomez Garcia.
Mark Ibarra.
Anthony Walker.
Cynthia Sagal Rivera.
Marco Wense.
Brisa Zarate.
Andre White.
Alexis Zavala Sotelo.
Aaron Williams.
Jose Cires.
Chase Williams.
Joanna Zuniga.
Silan Williams.
Maribel Zuniga.
Deshana Wilson.
Davion Fletcher Bay.
Adriana Chinol.
Antonisha Ferguson.
Who is he? Terrence Yap. Julian Yap.
He knows.
Keenan Young Jr.
Color-coded. It's in his color-coded binder.
How do you say the last one?
Jonathan Zamoran. Oh, they're not. Sydney Zamora. Giovanni Zaranana. Christopher Zavala Garcia. Giselle Zuniga. And Juan Zuniga. And Nadia Zuniga. Is that it? We good?
Before I say a few magical words to our graduates who waited 4 long years to hear, I want to remind our graduates that they will follow these distinguished graduates on the stage here by rows. They will exit via rows and then proceed behind the home stands. Class of 2019, please stand. By the virtue of the authority vested upon me by the Superintendent of Schools and the Waukegan School Community Unit District 60 Board of Education, I hereby confirm that these students has completed the requirements as prescribed by the Illinois State Code and Board of Education policy. I hereby confirm these graduates, and therefore they are entitled to receive a diploma of graduation. Students, please take your tassels and move them from right to left. Congratulations, class of 2019. You stand graduated.